now I see my job as much more than doing pretty plays, to doing powerful pieces that speak for my students.
In the spring of 2007, 3 years after it had been proposed by the original cohort of scholars, the new course, Race Relations and Social Justice in U.S. History, was approved by the school board. Kevin Williams is the Davis High social studies teacher who accepted the challenge of developing and teaching this new course.
I hadn't really thought about teaching the course, I think, so much as I had really, after that presentation for the public, I had really thought about, where am I? You know, I mean, you get so impressed when young people are maybe tackling a problem and being a little more active than you're being. Never in my teaching career had I said, I'm gonna do something that might be beneficial to people on a different level than just straight, I'm gonna get you excited about history, but maybe I could do something that might make you a better rounded person, and I would learn from that too.
New textbooks were approved. Williams went through a specially crafted series of professional development activities, funded in part by the school district. Staff from Youth in Focus consulted on integrating the youth research training into a classroom setting. Along with 4 other district staff members, Williams attended a training entitled Mirrors of Privilege, Making Whiteness Visible, featuring Shakti Butler. In a supportive, constructive environment, Williams experienced some of the unsettling feelings his white students might experience in learning about U.S. history from the lens of Americans marginalized because of their race or ethnicity.
One of the things I'm really excited about with CSJ is how we accomplished in creating the first multiracial history class for the high school. And basically in this class, you'll be studying how race helps form the society that is in today's world.
This is the first class I've had with a lot of these people, and it's just strange that I would never otherwise be in any kind of situation with them, and that's really weird that we're so separated like that.
Just to feel free to ask those awkward questions, and you learn so much by just listening to what other people have to say.
Through breaking down these stereotypes, I could show other people who I was, and they could show me who they were, and we could get a better understanding of, what people really like.
Before taking this class, I was afraid that I wasn't allowed to even ask about minority stereotypes or discrimination. Now, after taking this class, I know that I can give my opinion and that asking questions is not the same as being ignorant.
Before taking this class, I didn't know much about the history of other minorities besides African Americans. Now, after taking this class, I understand that other races have had their hard times as well.
Before taking this class, I unconsciously blanketed all Asians as just the generic super overachievers. Now, after taking this class, by studying how some whites in the civil rights movement ignored their racist symptoms, I recognize my own.
Continuous effort by adults and young people to look at an issue over time has led them to create something that fits for this community, that's going to have impact.
It's a message that you can have something as horrible as a racial incident in your community that maybe nobody really knew how to address, and then take the energy and the focus to make sure that change is achieved and is achievable.
Following the crimes and testimonies of students in 2003, our school district made several changes that year. Testing for the Gifted and Talented Program, or GATE, was administered to all 3rd grade children. Consequences for the use of racial slurs were added to student discipline. Social climate committees made up of students, parents, community members, and staff were reactivated at each school campus. A part-time district climate coordinator was established. Educators voluntarily participated in a training called the Unconscious Bias Program. It is a joint effort of the Davis and California Teachers Associations. An Achievement Gap Task Force was established. 2 community conversations were conducted to further discuss the achievement gap. A new academic support center with tutors and mentors was established at Davis High School, with special emphasis on meeting the needs of English language learners. The Scholars Written Student Survey was originally administered in the spring of 2004. It has since been repeated twice, in the spring of 2006 and 2008. Some encouraging trends have emerged. The percentage of African American, Latino, and Asian students who believe their counselors expect students of each of their race to perform above average increased. The percentage of white and Latino students who were suspended dropped by half. And the percentages of African American and Latino students who believed their classmates expected students of their race to perform above average increased steadily over the last several years. From 2000 to 2007, the dropout rate for African Americans and Latino students declined markedly, while the dropout rate for white students in the Davis School District remained essentially the same.
Their data is consistent over a 5-year period, and you got to remember now, the students are new students coming in. It's not the same students that did it for 5 years in a row. These are different students because as they graduate, new students have to take their place. But the data is so similar.
The research says clearly that by the age of 3, kids are already forming ideals about race and how they look and color and issues that we would put under the category of diversity. And they may not be vocalizing it to you, but they already are. They already know that I may have dark skin, you have light skin. They're very, very curious.
For the class to be funded, it needed 29 students to sign up. It got 108 students, requiring 3 class periods to accommodate the student demand. In the 2009-2010 school year, there were 4 class periods.
The outcome of this is amazing. You know, we have this classroom now where we can continue to teach children and continue to teach students to become like even more better, like powerful leaders in their community and change it from within.
When I was with my friends, you know, rethink a joke I was about to tell, you know, and it was just a joke for the fun of being a joke. But when I started to realize that, you know, there's a lot of hurt behind that joke, and to a lot of people it's very offensive.
The sooner we start with young people and help them to frame it, these issues and questions that they have around race and diversity in a positive way, the less we're likely to see some of the name calling that we see on campus, some of the racial incidents that we see on campus, some of the things we see with adults, quite frankly, when they're in their careers and they're older, as a result of us not really addressing these issues while kids are young.
We would also like to hire a faculty that would present more diversity at Davis High School. There are currently
I thought Youth in Focus would be just about research, but I mean, now when I think about it, Youth in Focus to me, I don't think about the research, I think about the experience and what came of it and what person it made me into.
This was why I felt so close to this high school, is because I did something meaningful. I strongly feel like I made a change.
And so how can you change an institutionalized mindset is by bringing in an institutionalized program.
How do you think I should respond to this? What should I say? Do you think this is something that needs to be addressed? And I frequently say, yes, it does, but you're the person who needs to go back and address it.
So one story about Youth in Focus that I still remember vividly is at the beginning of the year, our first year, when Jan asked us, how many of you here believe that you can change the world? And I remember only one student raised their hand, and it was sort of like this tentative, maybe sort of kinda, I can sort of kinda do it, but not really, I don't think so.
It's good to see that there's a lasting impact and all the waves of change that we started are still going through our community.
When she asked that same question at the end of the year, everybody raised their hand.
We got to see that we can really make a change in Davis, and we could make a difference.